Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to IG8Live Esports once again with Interstellar Racing League here for round 11 here in Mexico, and should be quite an interesting session as usual from last week. It's going to be a short qualifying session, then a 50% race, and then a 5-lap sprint race just after that. So we already got some cars heading out on track just to try and get some outlaps done and possibly get some good qualifying laps in. We'll see where we stand with that. Only 12 drivers currently on in this session, but still we'll be able to actually give them enough space between each other, hopefully, for racing going on through the track. We'll see how well the session actually goes itself for the race start. As we know, it's a bit of a long run here for the start of the race, getting down to turn 1 here at Mexico, so it should make for an interesting race start as well, hopefully avoiding a safety car or a VSC situation. Though we'll see what's going to happen in that case as we get around to it. On currently with Rami here. I think he's just trying to get his lap going, so let's see if that's going to be going well for him or not. He's getting around the final turn right now, getting back to that start to finish straight, so he can get a good lap going. Let's see how well it's going to go now. As he just went across the line, so very long run down into turn 1, so I think it's going to be interesting with how they actually manage that braking zone for the race itself. It's going to be a bit tricky with that. Of course, the slipstream advantage is going to be a bit more interesting with the cars down in the midfield as well, so we'll see what happens as they get on through that. The rest of the track a bit straightforward getting on through, but still some interesting overtaking spots as they get through the lap. So we'll see how well the lap times are going to look in just a bit as we're trying to get through that right now. So I think we have a few more cars currently on laps there as well. Majority of the cars seem to be still in the pits. I think they're just trying to give each other some space on it. We'll see how well they get through that. They're down to 15 minutes remaining already out of the total of 18 minutes here in the session, so really not too much time. They're gonna have to get a move with it and just try to get a lap in as fast as they can and just account for invalidated laps, because that's gonna be a bit of a situation here at Mexico as well, just depending on how much practice these guys have had on the track, especially with the performance upgrades on the game and whatnot. So let's see how that's gonna be looking as Rami should be getting across the line pretty soon and hopefully gets a pretty good lap in, using up as much of the track as he can here, getting around, and goes with a 1:19.4. so let's see how well that's going to hold off with the rest of the drivers coming on through right about now. I think we have Scooper probably getting across the line next here. Blumchum already across at a 1:18.5. Let's see where the Mercedes goes second fastest, 1:18.8, just about 3/10 off of Blumchum's time, so not too far so far. And I think Ryan might be coming across next there in the Alpine, so let's see what his lap time is going to look like as he does get across. Fourth fastest, 1:19.8 so far. I don't think we're too bad with the lap times. I think it's going to hold up pretty well, at least for now. Looks like Northern might be getting back into the pits, so it doesn't look like his lap is working out too well for him. On with the Ferrari here of Toys R Us on an outlap, actually, to see what his lap time is going to look like when he does get that hot lap in. So on the mediums so far for the cars that have set a lap. So going to be really interesting for those who are now going to try and set a lap time here on the soft compound tires, and I'll see where that's going to take them, because it might just go a few tenths faster than those mediums here, but we'll see how well that's going to work as they get through these laps here. So just currently one car running on track, waiting for some of these drivers to get out here and possibly get a lap in. Hopefully they can get a lap in before the session comes to an end. They have enough time as it is right now. 30 minutes still remain in the session, so should give them enough time just to keep an eye and see what's going on and they're gonna just decide what is it exactly they want to do. I think some of them might just be still thinking strategy wise here in terms of what they're going to be trying to do some maybe a one stop, or is it going to be a two-stop race. We'll see what's going to happen in terms of strategy, because those currently on the lap times are trying to start this race on the mediums, running a bit of a long stint before taking a stop here. Then we'll potentially see what's going to happen as we get into the race session in terms of tire strategy and whatnot. But so far so good, as you can see with the lap time still pretty close off. We're going to have quite a few more come out in just a bit, as Dunners is now out on track as well. Looks like Humble Hippo getting out on an out lap now as well. Should have the Ferrari here finishing off this lap pretty soon. See where that's going to be putting him on the grid. Of course, this is being done with the soft tires. The rest of the drivers done their laps on the medium, so let's see what the time difference is going to be. Depends if he's having a good lap here or not. And looks like it goes third fastest without a 119.3. Gonna hold up pretty well for now, but let's see how much longer he's able to keep that going. We're on with Dunners here in the Williams now. He's about to get started on his lap. Let's see where that lap is going to take him. A bit wide here. They are getting at this point getting into tournament as well, but just getting wrong, not too much room. So we're really gonna see how cars manage themselves through that. Looks like Ryan's already out of the session there. Did a 119.8. The time will hold for now with him, but he will not get to set a faster time, which means he's gonna start a bit further down the field. Just depends on how much further down he is gonna be pushed with that lap time. Blumchum still fastest in the session, so that provisional pole for him so far, as we're down to just about 10.5 minutes or so now remaining. I'm just waiting for a few more cars to get across the line. We got Dunners there in sector 2 right now. A bit tricky through sector 2 there as well, about to get into sector 3 soon enough. But let's see what the lap times will look like. So mostly into the 119s to 118s, just waiting for some more laps to come in. Dunners of course doing this on the mediums right now, so let's see what that's gonna put him with on the board. Toys R Us definitely will try for another lap on maybe that same set of tires. I'm not sure if he's gonna switch it or not, but it seems he's back in the pits, which means he's probably gonna do a switch with it. Jonas goes 6th fastest, 120.4. Someone trying to get a bit of a toe off of him there, I think, trying to get their laps in. Northern Star still getting through on his lap. Where is Crack? Another one. No, he's in the pits. Humble Hippo still on a lap. Should be able to finish this up pretty soon. I think both McLaren's out on track right now. We'll see if they're going to have any luck in terms of getting some good positions here for the start of this race. At least 6 drivers in so far, 7 drivers at lap times in. Humble Hippo goes 6th fastest, 120.1. Not too bad of a time. We'll hold up pretty well for now. Looks like camera goes 122.9. Going to want to try to improve on that as much as he can there. Guys, Jake Kelly getting through in the Aston Martin. He should get a lap in pretty soon. Down to just under 9.5 minutes remaining. So not too much time still left here in the session. But I think it's just enough time for these guys to pull a few more laps here on track. And just get a feel of what the track is like here at the moment in terms of grip and whatnot. Because hopefully it should be all dry getting into the race session itself. So maybe a similar situation will hopefully the setups will work well for that one. We'll see what's gonna happen. Of course, a little rain does tend to change things up, and we possibly might be looking forward to that, but let's see if the guys are gonna have that happening or not. Okay, so back on board with this. Let's have a look at where the Aston Martin is going to place at the end of this lap here. Got most of our drivers in by lap time so far. Should be an interesting race with just 12 drivers around. We'll be able to follow just about everyone on track, hopefully. I see Blumjob is still on provisional pole here. Still not, no one yet to beat that time. There's a tire now stuck on track. I assume that would have been a bit of a hazard there. So Jake Kelly goes to the 131.5 knot, the best of laps. Where is Kraken on track here? I think he's now getting through sector 1 going. So now getting started on his lap. We'll see if that's going to be an improvement of from what everyone else has done so far. Not so sure we'll be seeing a 117 here on the track, but those 118s looking pretty good. The 119s, I think it's a pretty good spot to be at this point. But definitely 118 will get you somewhere on the front for the start of this race. Midfield might not be so bad, provided you're going to be getting that slipstream running into turn 1, so might actually help some of these guys gain positions, but they will have to generally be careful about the braking zones for T1 and just try to avoid any sort of incident as much as they can. And we actually got to the 117s there, so Blumchum now on the sauce pulled off a 117.1, pretty close off to getting into a 116 here in Mexico. So far looking pretty good. Rami J there in second still, 118.7 for him. Hasn't tried a lap on the soft tires yet, I think. Hasn't. Scuba there currently third, Toys R Us in fourth, Ryan still in fifth with his time that has been left on the track since he's in the end of the session. Humble Hippo in 6th, we got Donners there in 7th, Hammer 8, J. Kelly in 9th. We're on with Kraken here in the Alfa Romeo, about to get across the line. Where does he go? 10th fastest, 123.0. I'm not sure why no one is claiming the tire of the track. Yep, there is a tire on the track. That glitch still exists then, I guess. Hopefully nobody hits it. Alright, on with the Williams of Dino here. Let's see where his lap time is going to be. Two drivers left to just set a lap time in here. That's Northern Star and Dino, and that should be it. Because we got just about 6 minutes left here for qualifying, so they're starting to run out of time right about now. It was a total of 18 minutes for the short qualifying session. Getting a bit further down on this here now. Let's see where they end up at the end of this. That's a purple sector 1 so far from the Williams there, so let's see if he's able to transition on to a purple sector 2 and 3. Might be looking at taking away provisional pole away from Blumchum. This depends on how sector 2 goes here and how well he actually can navigate his way through sector 2 and avoid invalidating that lap and saving as much time as he can here. Seems to be getting through pretty well so far, and about to get into sector 3. Is it purple? And yep, it is a purple sector 2. So I think Dino and Williams on for a pretty good lap here. Just needs to make sure he does not mess up sector 3 here, and he could potentially be on provisional pole for the start of the Mexican Grand Prix. That will help him out in terms of getting some more points here for the championship as well, and gets second fastest at 117.5, 4/10 off the time of what Blumchum had there in the Alpine. So really not a bad time from him. Just under 5 minutes left. Might be able to try and improve upon that. We'll see how that works out with him. Where's Mercedes of Scuba right now? I think he's trying to get another lap in here. And that is a 117.8 for him there, and that's on the softs now. So we're switching the strategy over. There's more thinking about starting on the mediums, where they were just trying the laps out on the mediums. Now we're on the softs, getting some much faster times. We're on another star here in the McLaren. Let's see what his lap time is going to look like at the end of this. So Blumchum still holds on to provisional pole though with a 117.1. Dino in second, 117.5, and Scuba and Mercedes takes over third right about now, holds on to that with 117.8. Then we go down to Ram J in fourth with a 118.7, and then further on down to 119s, and so on. So let's see, that's going to improve. Just a short amount of time left here in the session before it's over. So they kind of get a rush on now. 4 minutes left. Possibly about 2 more hot laps can be done, or 1. This depends on what they're currently up to on track here, or how many laps they've done on these set of tires. We got Blumchum on an out lap right about now, so definitely going to be trying 1 more lap here before the session comes off to an end. Now, thank you to Kraken there for subscribing to the channel. Do appreciate that very much. Yeah, as we were saying, guys, so we got Blumchum back out on track. Definitely wants to hold on to provisional pole for the start of this race. I don't think he wants to give up that position. And Scoop is now up into second at 117.4 from him. Only 3/10 off the time what that Alpine has out in front. So he's definitely going to be under some pressure now in terms of keeping provisional pole here. Dino down to third at 117.5. He's back into the pits. He has enough time to actually get out on track here and pull off another lap if he needs to. We'll see what's going to happen. Rami J still in fourth, Hammer in fifth, Toys R Us 6, Ryan down to 7th with his lap time there. Jake Kelly in 8th. We got Humble Hippo Air in 9th. We got Donners in 10th. Kraken down to 11th at 123.0. Possibly going to try to improve that. Maybe see if he gets on and down to 12. That's at the back of the grid here. So we're going to see if he's going to be able to get on a set of softs. Possibly get out on track. And maybe just try for a better lap time in here. Possibly could pull off a 119 maybe on a set of softs. But just depends if he was having a bad lap there on that medium set of tires. Not sure what's happening. So both McLarens 9th and 10th right now, just behind each other, separated by about 2 tenths. 120.3 there for another start. Puts himself up in the P10. See how well last time is going to hold. And get back out in front with his Blumchum on track here, getting through sector 1. I want to see if he's going to be able to pull off any purple sectors on this current lap and possibly beat his own lap time. Dino on an out lap right now. Scuba back into the pits. And let's see what's going to happen. Definitely no Dino in the Williams. He's coming after him. Definitely trying to get onto provisional pole. And definitely going to be on a new set of tires here. We got 2 minutes remaining here for qualifying. Got a purple sector 1 from Blumchum in the Alpine. So he definitely is looking to beat his own lap time here and potentially keep that car on professional pole for the start of this race. Still got a mix of strategies going on in terms of tires in those top 10. Well, let's see what that holds out as we get further after this get to the session. Not sure if we're having any more drivers join us before the race gets started. But 12 not too bad to go with. Let's see what's going to happen. We got the Alpine finishing up pretty soon. I do not think he had a proper sector 2. At least he didn't pay attention to that too much. We're going to have a look at Dino's lap in just a bit as he's about to get started on the 2. And that's a 116.7. Does improve and by quite a bit, by at least 410 so far. So he's a 116.7. That's going to hold him into provisional pole. Scuba with a 117.4. Still in the pits. Got Dino just getting started on a lap here. 117.5 from him. Needs at least to go 9 tenths faster in order to get onto professional pole at this point here. Alright, I don't think I saw a purple sector 1 so far, so let's see if this lap is going to be any better than his previous attempt at this here. Still could potentially get a purple sector 2 and 3 and possibly improve on the lap. We got a few more drivers out on hot laps there right about now. That's going to be Hammer, Donners are out as well as Humble Hippo and Kraken as well on track. Let's see what's going to happen. That's a purple sector 2 from the Williams so far. If he does get a purple sector 3, it still could potentially put him up to P1. Scuba's out of the session, or this might just even put him up to P2. Let's see what's going to happen. He's going to cut it pretty close, getting around the final turn here. About to get across the line, and where does he go on this? Gets into the 117, but a 117.2 puts him on to P2. Not a bad position to be starting in. Going to be right alongside Blumchum there on the starting grid. I think that's going to be it there. We got Hammer here, possibly trying to get a lap in here. Still Kraken as well. Where's Kraken on track? I wonder if he's trying to get a faster time in the Alfa Romeo. Trying to get a wrong sector 2 right now. Seems to be going pretty well so far. Has avoided any invalidated laps here, getting through on this one. But let's see if he's able to improve his time on track. He's still trying this on the mediums, of course. Bit of a tricky track here at Mexico, getting through sector 3. Gotta just be so careful with those curves as well, not to invalidate your lap here. And he gets across the line, avoids the tire, and goes P4. Not a bad final lap here in qualifying at Mexico for Kraken, a 118.0 and a pretty good lap time. Highest in the 118s, puts him up in the P4 for the start of the Mexican Grand Prix. And I think that's it for qualifying, guys. Everyone else has completed their laps. Hammer is getting back into the pits, and we got Scuba and Ryan already out of the session. So that's going to be looking to be our starting grid there for the race here at Mexico. So let's see what's going to be. So Blumchum starting P1, Dino in second. Those two going to be a bit interesting with the fight between them, getting down into turn 1. Let's see how well it's actually going to go with that. Okay, so there we go. So qualifying results here for Interstellar Racing League for round 11 here at Mexico. Blumjump takes professional pole for that lap time there, 116.7. Pretty impressive. Dino currently second on the grid. Scuba will start in third. Kraken final lap puts him up to P4 for the start. Rami there in fifth. We got Hammer 6, Donner 7, Toys R Us in 8, Ryan there in 9, Jake Kelly 10th, Humble Hippo in 11, Northern Star in 12. Both McLarens all the way down at the back of the grid. So let's see if they can work their way up and potentially get some points here for the team. Mix of strategies in the top 10 with tires, and let's see what's going to happen as we get onto the grid. Okay, so on with the formation lap here. I thought we might have been restarting the lobby just to get one more driver in, but probably we're not. Let's go with it either way and see what's happening. Not sure why there's an Aston Martin drifting around the track, but either way, let's have a look and see. I think we are getting into another lobby, so just give it a second here, guys. Let me just switch this over. I guess that was weird for a second, lost some for some reason, and we're back on again. So redoing back our formation lap, got our 13 driver in, and we used a few stats up, and we can have back a look at what our starting grid is going to be. So let's keep that on tires as we can see what's going to be happening with that. So round 11 here for Interstellar Racing League with the Mexican Grand Prix. We got Blumton starting in P1. Dean is going to start just alongside him there in second. Scooby and Mercedes will start third. Kraken starts fourth. We got Ramy J starting fifth. Hammer will start in sixth. We got Donner starting seventh. We got Toys R Us in eighth. Ryan will be 9. J. Kelly in 10. Humble Hippo there in 11th. Northern Star, his teammate down there in 12th. And Wolsey there getting to join us there, starting 13th on the grid. Had to miss qualifying there, but still were able to get him in the session. As we can see, a mix of strategies in the top 10 right about now. Got the first top 3 of them starting on the softs, 4th to 6th on the mediums. We got 7th and 8th on the softs, and then 9th and 10th along with 11th and 12th on the mediums as well. Walty down at the bottom of the grid will be starting on the soft though, so mix of an interesting strategy that he's going to be on there. Are they possibly determining that there might be a safety car and might lead to them doing an early pit stop in this race? I'm not sure, but we'll see what's going to happen as we are about to get started here. So let's switch this up just a bit. And why are we so far away from the drivers at the moment there? Alright, I think Blumchum getting into his grid slot right about now. On the left side, we got Dino pulling up on the right side right about now. We're gonna leave the position changes on for now. You guys will be able to have a look at what happens to that. We'll switch it back around in just a bit, and I think we'll take most of the stuff off screen for that rundown into turn 1. Just waiting for it to get started. 36 laps ahead of us. Let's see who gets a better line off here. And yeah, so let's see if the Williams can get a better start than, and looks like he does get a bit of a better start than the Alpine, and gets into the lead already. Let's see how well that's going on through. I know we got cars all around the track right about now. Going to be a bit tight getting into turn 1, and at least 3 wines going down in the midfield there. Let's see if that's going to go too well with them. Almost a bit of minor contact, I think, between, oh, definitely having contact now between the two of them out in front. The Alpine of Blumchum now goes wide and gets back on track, now into second still, as he's lost the lead even before getting into turn 1, with Dino getting a bit of a better slipstream run against him there as well, alongside him actually, as he got away with that position. Kraken is up to third. We got Hammer is up to 4th. We got Ramesh currently holding on to 5th there still. So Blumchum's lost 1 position so far. Let's see how that's going to push on through as he gets to the rest of the Scuba there. Has lost 10 positions from the start to this race though, so I'm not sure what exactly happened to the Mercedes on that opening lap, but he's all the way down to 13. Wolsey, who started in 13, he's up into 11th at the moment and going. Looks like Humble Hippo gained about 4 positions. We got Durner's gained 1 so far as they're coming to the end of the first lap and about to get started into lap 2. We got Dino in the Williams. He's continues to lead the Mexican Grand Prix at the moment, and I think he's going to hold on to that lead as much as he can. Let's see what happens as they get into lap 2 here though, because it's going to be a bit of another run down that start finish straight again into turn 1, which is going to make it interesting. Let's see if Blumchum can get a good toe off of the Williams in front of him, and doesn't look like he's getting much of that right now. He is gaining some time. He's gained about 3/10 so far as he goes now down into turn 1, and looks like Kraken just about 8/10 behind that, so he's still pulling off through, trying to increase. Oh, and look, the Williams goes wide now, so that's going to be a bit of a closer gap as he's now down by another 10th. And I think that's going to work too well. Work actually pretty well for him. Now down by down just 3/10. So he's closing in on Dean, who just made a very, very big mistake. So let's see if that's going to cost him the lead that he gained off the opening lap here. And looks like we're looking at a 2-stop strategy for this race, but potentially we'll see what's going to happen. But I think most likely it will be a 2-stop strategy for all of our cars on track, and we might just see some 3 stops or 4 stoppers from some of these guys, depending on who takes damage and if we do have a safety car or VSC happening in the race itself. And we're going to keep back on the overhead cam. Have a look what's happening here, because it looks like Kraken is losing some time. He's down by 1.3 seconds down there in turbo, still getting onto a podium position off the start after Scuba fell down all the way to 13th, and he's now up into 11th and running. Let's see what's going to happen as we get further on into this. While Blumchum chasing after the Williams still has a much closer gap now as they get into lap 3, and looks like he gets the fastest lap. He might be on for getting back his position here. We'll keep this on tires for the moment, see how well this is going. They're going to go side by side into turn 1. We get down pin on the left, so he's going around the long way around, trying to get that position back. It doesn't look like actually he gets the inside of the next turn. They have a bit of contact, and there goes a spin towards Blomstrom there. Doesn't look like he took any damage, a bit of minor contact, but he's going to be losing quite a lot of positions due to that incident there. So let's leave this on actually. Let's see what's going to happen as we continue on further into the race here, right? So Blomstrom now down in front of his teammate, actually still going wide. So not sure if he took some minor damage on the car, but his teammate Ryan is now behind of him up into 7th. I think he started a few positions down there as well. Blomstrom now trying to gain back positions as much as he can here. Looks like Hammer out in front has gained a few positions. Kraken, what's happened to his car? He's lost the entire front wing and he's off track, now trying to get back on. Has to now just nurse the car all the way back around the track. Actually he's gonna run to the pit lane pretty soon, so I'm not all the way back around. So he's gonna have to do a pit stop right about now, try to get that repaired. And let's see where he comes back out on track, because he was currently running 3rd. I think something happened out front, so he's now lost all of those positions. I'm gonna have to try to get that back as much as he can. We're gonna keep that off for now. We have 2 drivers currently with penalties on track here. That's Scuba there in the Mercedes, Northern Star there in the McLaren. I'm not sure what the penalties are, but probably just 3 seconds for track limits, if that's gonna be it. Let's have a look back out front, see what's happening. We got the McLaren of Humble Hippo was in 2nd, just went wide, lost that position. Now down to 3rd. Now is resting the Ferrari chasing after him. Side by side though, Blomstrom is with that Ferrari as he's now trying to get that position up there into 4th if he can, around the outside though. But to see, he might have to just hold that position back, but pushes on through the inside, so he's trying to fight his way back up the field as much as he can, as fast as he can here right now. Looks like he's going to be able to get the position back. It depends what's going to happen, and a bit of contact between him and the Ferrari causes the Ferrari to almost lose the car itself, but he's got back under control. He's lost just 1 position. I think he's going to keep that going at least for now. So Dino still leads the race out in front by 5.4 seconds after Kraken's issue there, and he's now down into 11th. And then after a fight with Blomstrom as well, so he's fought pretty well to actually keep that lead. Hammer though into 2nd place on the race right about now. 5.4 seconds is a gap though. That's a bit of a way to actually catch up. Then we got Humble Hippo there in 3rd, on to podium position, but with a penalty, and that's gonna cost him a bit. We got Blomstrom chasing after him. 2/10 is what the gap is. Gonna have the slipstream advantage here, as well as the DRS advantage going down that surface straight, and definitely should be able to get a position up here. So trying to have a look at right now as he pulls alongside him, and he's going to take it around, trying to take it around the inside, but I think he has to let the position be for now, but still maintains that 2:10 gap as they continue on in the race. We got Ryan, his teammate, are down behind the Ferrari. He's about 6 tenths behind and trying to keep that gap as close as he can. Bouncing all the way up into 9th, chasing after Rami J there at the moment, who's currently 8th. There's a few tenths between them, so we'll have to keep an eye to see what goes on down in the back of the field. Out in front, Dino seems to be just keeping his advantage of 5.8 seconds, going down to 5.9 now. So Humble Hippo having trying to catch up with Hammer, who's having some trouble catching up with Dino up in front. See what's going to happen in that case. They're still on with Blomstrom here, who's chasing after the McLaren of Humble Hippo. Bit of a close gap, but he needs to just get that back down to about 2/10 where he had it before, and I think he's working on doing that right now. Of course, he's under pressure from car from behind of him, so let's see what's going to happen in that case. I think Blomstrom just trying to find some sort of gap to get by here. The Ferrari of Toys R Us is catching up pretty quickly, so let's see what's going to happen as they get around into the next lap here. And we already got the Alpine trying to go side by side with the McLaren, and he does get that done. There's a 10th between them. Should be able to get it on the inside of the braking zone to T1, and I think he just might. Looks like he gets that position up quite easily here and holds on to P3 now, a podium position, which definitely wanted to get back onto, now trying to fight his way back up into the lead of this race where he qualified and started from. Dino took that away on the opening lap, got up into P1 now, but he's trying to get back at least up into 2nd. It's a 4:10 gap towards Hammer out in front, and he's already just behind the rear of the Haas right now, so should have a pretty easy run in terms of trying to get past. Just depends on if he has the pace here or not. We're on lap 6 of 36, so still another 30 laps or so to go. At least another something's happened out front. What's happened to the race leader out front, because he's out of the race for some reason. And there's this car at the side of the track. Looks like he's caused that upon himself, I would assume. probably lost the rear end or something and threw the car into the wall. I'm not sure what happened there, but he is currently out. That's a full safety car right now, which definitely might lead to some of these cars taking a pit stop here. Let's bring tires online and have a look and see what's going to happen in terms of these cars going into the pits or not. Hammer, of course, leads the race now in the house. Let's see if he decides to do a stop or not. And looks like he's not going to do a stop right about now. I think Blomstrom might get around here there as well. Let's have a look if he's coming down behind. Okay, now Blomstrom is going to dive into the pits. He's on the soft tires, so he's on that advantage strategy. If there's a safety car, he can go in and get a new set of tires on. Going to get onto the set of mediums right now, then potentially onto a set of softs to finish off the race a bit later on in the session, maybe around 20 somebody or 25 maybe. We'll see what's going to happen, but a pretty good strategy if it runs this way here. This going on. Jay Kelly now up into second. Let's see what the change of order is going to be. Doesn't look like Jay Kelly pitted and Hammer didn't pit either. And that would be because both of them running on the mediums. They want to keep running their longer stint that they plan to actually do. Or this safety car is going to slow everything down for about another 2 laps or so before we are able to get back racing here. Unfortunately for Dino Williams, got away with the race lead off the start and kept that going through. Had quite a few battles in this race as well, but unfortunate for that. So one driver out. We're down to 13 remaining here for the Mexican Grand Prix, and we got Hammer leading, Jay Kelly in second. Blomstrom, who started P1, he's now back up into third as he's lost quite a few positions. Humble Hippo now running fourth, Toys R Us in fifth. Ryan now up into sixth. We got Rami J in seventh. Donner's eighth. Walsey up to ninth. We got Scuba down to 10th. And Kraken trying to get past him there. I think I'm sure it's happening to it in the back there. Possibly one getting onto the pits. Northern Star there in 12th. Let's see how this race is going to continue on as we try to get on with it here. So our gaps are going to be coming down extremely close between the drivers as it is there in terms of them trying to gain positions off the restart when that's going to happen pretty soon. So let's see what's going to happen there. Okay, so still running on the safety car. I think we got another lap or so after this one to do. So hopefully by the time we get around to lap 10, we should get a restart on that lap. Getting into lap 10, I would assume. Because we're on lap 8, going through lap 9. Yep, as long as we start to get into the entering lap 10, we should be able to get back. We started the race through then. Scoop, of course, running on the hards right now. 4 laps done on them. Gonna run a very long stint for that, so let's see how much time he's gonna gain possibly with running on that set of tires though, because bit slower than the mediums and the softs. So let's see what happens. So Hammer leads on the mediums, Jake lead in second on the medium. They have not pitted since this race has started so far. Everyone else behind them have taken at least 1 stop so far and on fresh tires. We got Blomstrom, of course, on fresh mediums. Humble Hippo behind him on the fresh softs. He's gonna have to be a bit careful with that after they get restarted, because Blomstrom gonna have a bit of pressure though from the McLaren, who's gonna try to get by and try to use the early advantage of those fresh soft tires, which definitely will be up to temperature before the restart after the safety car comes. So we'll see what's going to happen. About to get to the final sector here in lap 8 at the moment. Okay, so into lap 9 we go right about now. Should be ending the safety car at the end of this lap here, so we should be looking to get back into racing. Hopefully having all 12 drivers finish this race. Of course, sometimes that's not always the case, but we'll see what's going to happen, because we do potentially expect we might have an incident or 2 more happening in this race. Just depends on how the battles between cars are going to go. But unfortunate for Dino though, just lost the car there, I think is what happened. I'm not sure. Well, he definitely doesn't seem to be a fan of Mexico, especially this year, in terms of the way the track is when driving on it, I guess. So maybe not the best of luck there in terms of that, but let's see what's gonna happen. Doesn't seem to be too bummed up about not getting to finish the race as it is. What's happening? Cracking a scoop at the back there, I'm not sure. As I see them switching positions, even though safety car is still out on track. Let's have a quick look at the back here, see what's happening with these two actually. Scooby is running behind Kraken, so I'm not sure what was showing on the screen there. So I think we're on 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags there. That's a penalty going to Kraken in the moment. Having a quick look at penalties as it is. Not looking too good at penalties down at the back of the grid. Out in front with the top three who has the penalties. Not too bad, just 3 seconds, 5 seconds for Kraken, 15 though for Scuba there, another start 10. That's not going to work out too well with them. Let's see what's going to happen of this restart, which is about to happen here. And looks like the Mercedes is out. And let's see how much of a good run. Oh, we already got Hammer having a bit of a gap against Jay Kelly at 2.2 seconds as it is. And he has Blomkamp just a tenth behind of him, so he's definitely under pressure in terms of keeping second place on the podium here. Let's see if he's able to keep that going, because we're going to have Blomkamp, who already is side by side with him, has the better straight line speed with those medium tires, and just runs on through with it. Because JK, of course, on the older mediums, so not as much advantage, but Hammer out in front gets the most advantage since he does get to control the restart after a safety car. 2 seconds clear of Blomkamp right about now. Let's see how much more that's going to continue on. We do have Humble Hippo with those soft tires trying to get into third now. And still side by side with the Aston Martin of Jay Kelly. Not able to pull through in that position. Now actually gets it up. So he's into third. Jay Kelly all the way down into fourth. Was it a mistake to stay out on those mediums? We're going to see what's going to happen with that. Out in front though, Hammer having the best of time. He's still leading the race. 1.4 seconds, 1.3 seconds clear of Blomkamp now. So he's lost about 7/10. Jay Kelly out of the race there right about now. Not sure what's happening down in the back. Now it's going to be another safety car here. And yeah, we're not going to be able to see what happened there at this point in time. So 3 drivers out of the session now. We got 10 remaining. All 10 can be scoring points. Just have to finish a race at this point here. So another full safety car here. Just got over one over a lap ago, and we're going to the second one right now. Not looking too well in terms of whoever's leading this race, because he was looking to get a good gap going. Now let's see if he's going to be doing a stop under this safety car though, because he's 10 laps done on those mediums there. I want to see if he's going to think about doing a pit stop here when he does get back around to the pit lane entry there, because gaps are still close up between them. If he does do a stop, he's going to go to the back of the grid though, but of course everyone else might want to follow him. I'm not sure what's not, but I think it's pretty early off for them to try and do another stop right now. They all just pitted under the previous safety car, which was just a few laps ago, so I don't think they're going to actually do another pit stop right now. Now Blomkamp, of course, is going to be closing in the gap towards Hammer out in front, who's currently leading, and let's see what's going to happen as you get around to that. Okay, so still following on behind us, but let's have a look now, see if anyone is going to head into the pit lane. Is what we're trying to figure out right about now. I think that's going to be dependent on the race leader. Of course, the race leader hasn't done a stop in the race as yet. 10 laps running on those mediums, which can go quite a way more in this race, but I want to see if he's going to decide to get into the pits or not, as he's still behind the safety car here though. Doesn't look like he's really thinking about it, because he's going to continue on and follow on through with this. It doesn't look like he's going to be doing a stop. He's going to keep it hanging out here for now. Is the way he's going to have to make sure he has a pretty good restart after the safety car goes in, much like what he had on the previous one, where he got clear 2 seconds of the car behind of him. And we have Blomchamp's tires are now going to start to get a bit of wear on them, as there is now 4 laps. So of course not on a racing time though, because he's just been behind the safety car since he actually went onto those tires. We've had only about 1 lap of racing, 1.5 lap of racing, I would say, since that first safety car ended. So not much of racing laps done on those new set of tires that these guys have on. So going to make it a bit interesting. Donner's on a fresh set of soft tires there, and he's gotten back up to the grid. So I think he's going to try to get some advantage out of that as much as possible. We'll see what's going to happen. Hopefully we can have the safety car going at the end of this lap here and should get back racing, because Jake Kelly's car was cleared off pretty quickly off the track. I don't think it was really taking up too much, making so much of an issue there. So let's see what's going to happen when you get around to sector 3. We should know if we're about to get back racing or not. Currently on the lap 12, that takes us into lap 13. So still not at the halfway point as yet. Another 6 laps or so before we do get there. Okay, so safety car is going to be in on this lap. We're about to get back restarted with this race. We got Hammer in the P1. Blomchamp there in second. He's trying to get back into the lead. Going to have to keep a very close gap to the house in front of him. Let's see if he's able to get a pretty good run off the restart. Has a much closer gap. And we're back racing again as they all get across the line. Let's see what is going to happen between Blomchamp and Hammer here. A pretty close gap as he's gaining and getting time. I don't think he might actually get the overtake down, or will he? He's going to pull along the outside, which is where the room that he had there. So still following on. Try to go side by side with the Haas right now. Let's see if he's able to pull off, getting away with the lead. Gonna be a bit of a tough call. He goes a slightly bit wide, gets back on track, is on the outside still, and looks like he gets into the lead. I want to get that away from him. Of course, he's fighting it back right now. And the Haas actually gets back into the lead. Even on the older mediums, he's holding onto the lead. Blomchamp having a very difficult time trying to get that position away right now. He needs to make sure he does not lose and lose out another position, end up into 3rd place here against the McLaren behind of him, who's just about 5 tenths behind. Got a switch happening with Toys R Us and Rami J there in for 4th actually. I think those two are still side by side fighting for a position. Of course, got a Ferrari stuck between 2 Alfa Romeos, which is really not a good place for him to be. So Kraken coming down there in 6th. As you can see down behind, looks like Northern Star and Ryan fighting for a position as well. Donald's getting in the middle of that as he started back this after the safety car in P10. Has gained some positions with that soft tire situation there. So it's working pretty well for him so far on the Kraken here right now. Just on the rear of the Ferrari. Going to have a pretty good run down that start-finish straight. And let's see how close it's going to be between them. Has an Alpine of Ryan coming behind of him, but I don't think he's too worried about it as he now chases after the Ferrari. Definitely should be able to get side by side, but the Ferrari trying to stay in the slipstream of his teammate out in front. So far so good, just keeps that gap about 3 tenths of what it is. Looks like out in front, Blomchamp has gotten away with the lead. Kept it so far. Hammer still fighting it back for it though. Let's have a look what's happening with these two. As Humble Hippo gets in the middle of this right about now. Blomchamp down to 3rd. Did he take damage on that car? I'm not sure, because he's down by 1.5 seconds. A bit of a tussle happening out in front. And this is of course for the lead of the race here at Mexico. We got Hammer back into the lead though. He's going to hold on that for now and trying to hold back the McLaren of Humble Hippo here into 2nd. Let's see how well that's going to go for him as the gap is closing. It's down to about a 10th as they now go side by side, and looks like the McLaren might be getting up into the lead. Blomchamp might have damage on that car because he's now about 2 seconds behind. Let's see what's happening down in the back there in just a bit. But definitely looking like the McLaren of Humble Hippo are about to take away the lead of this race, getting into lap 15 now, and he holds the lead so far. Let's see what's going to happen down the start finish straight though, because it's going to be a close run between them. DRS is now online again, so that's going to be a bit more advantage to those who are running within a second of the car in front of them. It's a 6-10 gap between the McLaren and the Haas here, and it's going pretty well. Not having the best of run here for Hammer in terms of keeping a close gap. He's about to get out of DRS range, so he needs to be careful about that. Blumchum, they're catching back up to him. He's now within 7/10, was about 2 seconds down, has gained quite a bit of time, and he's now back up. He's going to be fighting back for that lead pretty soon. Not sure if his car has any damage or not. We're trying to have a look at that here. Let's see if that front wing potentially has any damage even on the end plates or not. Might have maybe some minor damage, but so far it seems pretty fine as he's catching up pretty well. Got Rami J, Toys R Us and Kraken. Still a bit of a battle down in the midfield here. Of course, Ryan just behind of them there in P7 as well. We have back a look out in front in just with 1.2 seconds is the gap between Humble Hippo in the McLaren and Hammer there in the Haas. Of course, just behind them. Blumchum still chasing after there in about 6/10 behind. Rami J now getting past him. Blumchum having some problems down in the back here. He's down quite a few positions. He's down to 6. His teammate Ryan getting past him, who now getting up into 7th, and Blumchum has damage on that front wing. The left end plate is definitely off, so he's going to suffer some downforce issues there. Let's see how he gets through the rest of the race with that though. Where is Ryan on track? Someone getting in the pit somewhere, I think. Not sure what's happening down in the back. There was something just happened, I think, with one of the Ferraris, and that was Toys R Us there. So might have lost some portions of their wing, and he's getting into the pits right now. Let's get back out in front. Rami here chasing after Hammer, who was in the lead. Lost the lead to the McLaren of Humble Hippo, now in second, being chased by the Alfa Romeo Rami J. Of course, his teammate behind of him there in 4th, that's Kraken. I think that's right where he started in the race. So going to be a bit interesting between these two as we have the Alfa Romeo trying to pull along the inside. So side by side with the Haas. Let's see who gets out in front. Looks like Hammer holds on to that position at least for now. 1.3 seconds behind is where Kraken is and coming. And let's see if he's able to catch up and get into this battle as well. This is of course going to be for 3rd place, but his teammate is the one in front of him, so I'm thinking they might both have to try and get past as much as they can. Humble Hippo out in front, leading the race, has a penalty. Hammer there doesn't have any penalties so far, as well as Walsey there in 7th, who started 10th on the grid. Got a pretty good run here between Rami J and Hammer right now, and looks like Rami J gets up into 2nd place here. A nice podium position for him. Hammer's down to 3rd, being chased by Kraken now, just about 2/10 behind. Let's see how that's actually going through with him, because Kraken looking to get by right now. And looks like Hammer's going into the pits, definitely doing a pit stop, so he's finally doing his first pit stop. I think that'll be 16 laps done on that set of mediums, and he's now doing a stop. Let's see what he does decide to go on to. He's going to go into a set of hards and finish out the race, or maybe a set of softs. And he's going into a set of softs, so probably going to run 2 more sets of softs to finish off this race. And I think that's going to be it for him. Probably 10 and 11 laps each, and should be able to complete the race with that strategy there. And it's running pretty well for him so far, getting back on the overhead cam. Kraken now up into 3rd behind his teammate who he's now chasing after. So let's see who's the faster Alfa Romeo driver here in this session, or on this track at least. Or are they going to be maintaining position so far? Of course, they have to catch up to the rest of the out in front there in the McLaren. That's 5.5 seconds ahead of Rami J, and he needs to close the gap as much as he can. If he's losing time, his teammate might be allowed to go out in front of him. That is, of course, if the team gives the order and if he actually allows the move to happen without him losing time, because he's not going to be losing any sort of time on track here. Definitely looks like those two drivers are racing. Not sure what the team order is, but the Alfa Romeo guys are racing each other in this race here right now. Not sure if they're going to make a switch happen. They think they almost had some contact there. Kraken's still trying to get past his teammate. Might be able to do it down the start finish straight. Let's see how that's going to go. Unless one of them was going to go into the pits, which they are not at this point. Blumchum with another 3-second penalty, trying to have a slipstream advantage off of his teammate here, getting down to turn 1. He is getting the advantage along with the DRS that he has used on the outside of his teammate now, and let's see if he's able to get into the lead, and his teammate actually allows it to be. So Kraken up into 2nd, Ramji goes down to 3rd. Both are running the same strategy right about now, but Kraken seems to be a bit faster, and he's taken up into 2nd. Now going to chase after Humble Hippo out in front, who's now 6.1 second clear, and looks like Kraken is already gaining some time here. Let's see if that's going to continue as the laps go by right about now. We're on the halfway point of this race here, 18 laps into the race, another 18 or so to go before we do come to the end of it. Gap is already down to 5.5 seconds. Kraken in the aftermath. He's definitely gaining time lap after lap here. And even Humble Hippo on the soft tires out in front. Kraken on the mediums, and he still has the advantage. And I think he's going to continue on with that for now. Let's see how much more that gap is going to come down within the next 2 laps. And we might be looking at another switch for the race lead in just a bit to see if it's going to happen or not, though. The rest of the grid forming a bit of a gap as it is for IG8, 1.4 seconds behind his teammate, trying to keep Ryan a bit, or Ryan another 1.5 seconds behind. Still has a bit of way to catch up into getting into the DRS zone, see what's going to happen in that case. Northern Star, they're running 5th. We got Hammer down to 6th right now, 10 seconds clear, and trying to get into that gap to chase after the McLaren in front of him. Let's see what's going to happen. Blumchum 3.8 seconds behind. Now Walsey there in 8th. We got Donners in 9th. Toys R Us all the way down to 10th. Not having the best of races right now. Kraken got his gap down to 5.3 seconds. Let's see what happens once he gets around into lap 20 here. If he's losing time or gaining time, Humble Hippo, of course, is going to step it up a bit and possibly try to get away or get that gap a bit more if he can. Just having a look at the Kraken's tires. Not sure if he's actually showing or not, but it does seem like he has a bit of a flat spot on it. Or not sure, that's just a bit of a dark mark, and that's his car out of the race. Not sure what happened there. That was a bit strange, and that's a virtual safety car for that one there, because his car is a bit off the track. So gonna be allowed to go at the moment there. Ramiji, of course, now takes over 2nd after his teammate DNF's a session. Ryan running 3rd. Northern Star now takes over 4th, and the rest of the grid will move up. Hammer into 5th. Blumchum will take 6th. Walt into 7th. Donners into 8th. Toys R Us into 9th. Not sure what happened, but it's now a full safety car because of that. They're going to have to clear everything off track. Let's see what's happening out in front. We got pit stops happening right about now as everyone's going into the pit lane. And I'm going to do another pit stop here. If they do a set of mediums here, I think they potentially can end the race on that set of tires. Okay, so 3rd safety car in the session. We still got some pit stops happening there. As you can see, Humble Hippo now went on to the mediums. Ramji went on to the hards. Those who definitely will be able to finish off the race. We got about 16.5 laps remaining. We got Ryan now up into 3rd. His teammate Blumchum into 4th. Got Northern Star into 5th. Walsey 6th. Hammer 7th. Toys R Us 8th. And Donners running in 9th right about now. Still in the pit lane trying to get back out. But I think everyone should be back up behind each other before this race is ready to get restarted somewhere around lap 22, I would assume. Okay, so still under the safety car and running right about now, hard as it is. Let's see if that's going to continue after the race goes on in. And yep, just confirming what happened to Kraken's car there. So yep, kind of lost it on one of the curves as going full throttle on it. Kind of had an idea of possibly what happened. Yep, unfortunate for that, but he's definitely out of the race there now. So there'll be no points for him. We're down to 9 drivers remaining right now. Let's see what's going to happen in the second half of the race. as we get around to that here right now. I think all gaps have closed in, and we should be able to get back racing at the end of this lap. We're on lap 21, so we're just waiting for us to get into sector 3, and we should have that confirmation from race control about the cars getting back racing at the end of the lap, which will take us into lap 22. And let's see what's going to happen. Out in front, Humble Hippo leads the Mexican Grand Prix right now. Rami J there in second, Ryan in third, his teammate Blumchum in fourth to start the P1, and definitely wants to get it back. Now he's been having the best of luck in this race. Looks like he might have to pull off another pit stop here. He's on the soft tires, 4 laps done on them. Not quite sure if they're going to be making it to the end of the race, but let's see what's going to happen. His teammate on the softs as well, but on fresher softs, 4 laps at least fresher, so might be able to pull it off. We'll see what happens as they get on through with this. The McLaren holding everyone back just a bit there. Both Alpines right next to each other. That's not going to be too safe for a restart here. They're going to have to be extremely careful as they're all very close off to each other already. And of course, no overtaking until they get across the start-finish straight, and they're now back on it. Let's see what's going to happen with a rundown into turn 1 here, into lap 22. Looks like the Alpines are getting a pretty close gap against the Alfa Romeo out in front of him. The McLaren of Humble Hippo seems to be getting away just a little bit, but not by a big margin. And he's going to have to just try to keep that gap as much as he can out front. 6/10 to 7/10 right about now. Might try to improve it a bit more. Of course, Ramsey on the hards, Humble Hippo on the mediums has that bit more advantage. But of course, cars with on faster tires are behind of him, so still needs to be extremely careful about that at this point here. Hammer gains a position against Wolsey down there. That's for P6 with him. He's up in that position. We got Ryan here 3/10 behind right about now, following on with the Alfa Romeo and trying to get past. Going to be a bit of a tough call to see what's going to happen with that. Of course, and again, we got both Alpines running their third and fourth here, potentially looking to get onto both cars onto a podium position if they can. We'll see what's going to happen in that case, as Ryan is now trying to get side by side with Rami J, and a bit of contact between them, but they still keep it going. His teammate, of course, now they're trying to get past him as well, so both Alpines might be trying to fight for position here. Definitely Blumchum is not going to want to be sitting down here in P4. He is going to try to get past his teammate as much as he can. Let's see what's going to happen on the run down to lap 23 into turn 1 once again. And of course, this is the part of the track where they get the most in terms of slipstream advantage, and his team is getting a lot off of him right now. So both Alpines side by side into turn 1 of lap 23 to see what's going to happen. Looks like the McLaren of Northern Star trying to get into the middle of that as well, not able to at this point, but looks like Blumchum gains the position. His teammate is down to 4th, so a bit of a switch between them there in the team. Not sure if that was intentionally done or not, but let's see what happens as we continue on through. It's only a 10 between Blumchum and Rami G out in front, and he's definitely looking to get past, but he's gonna have to possibly just stay on the racing line for now. Just wants to avoid having any unnecessary contact with the car in front of him, and of course he has his teammate coming behind of him. Needs to be a bit wary of that as well, because he just got past his teammate. Doesn't want to be causing an incident with that, as I highly doubt the team is going to be too happy about it. So as it is there right now, still a very close gap between most of the cars that we have on track here on lap 23. Got about 13.5 laps remaining to finish up this race, and it's going pretty well after our third safety car restart so far. 9 drivers left though, so let's see what happens in terms of amount that are going to be finishing the race here. Ryan gets another 3-second penalty. The only driver without a penalty on track here right now is Hammer in the house, currently running in 6th. See what his advantage is going to be. Out in front, Humble Hippo leads this race, but not by a big margin. It's only a 4/10. Blumchum behind Rami J by about 3/10. Ryan behind of that by about 6/10. Northern Star another 2/10 behind. We're all within a tenth of each other, except for Walsey out there by about 3 seconds behind. Donner's there, but everyone else within a second. Northern Star gets past Ryan. He's up into 4th now, so he's trying to get in the middle of these two Alpines for at least the past 2 laps, and he's finally got that done. So he's just about 1.4 seconds behind Blumchum now. Blumchum, of course, now chasing after Rami. He's trying to get away with that position. He's still trying to get side by side with him, but not able to pull an overtake off as yet. So it's going to be a bit interesting to see how that is going to work out. We're going down to Hammer there in 6th, who's now going to chase after Ryan. Let's see how that continues on with them. Toys R Us behind them, getting a bit wide, trying to get back on track though. Let's see what's going to happen. The Haas of Hammer though having no penalties so far in this race, so far not a bad race for him. he's looking at gaining quite a few positions. If gaps stay as they are right about now, he could still potentially win this race. Let's see what's going to happen, or at least get that car onto a podium position. It just depends on the final 12 laps are going to go. But as it is right about now, Humble Hippo out in front having some severe problems in terms of keeping that gap right about now over a second, because he's not able to keep it out of that. He's still 7/10 between them. Blumcho, of course, now side by side with Ramji. Still trying to get past. He's on the inside right now. He's trying to force his way through on the inside. Let's see if it's going to work or not. At this point, he might have to outbreak him in terms of trying to get that position away. And he's not working to his advantage right now. And I think he's using everything. He now has a McLaren coming behind of him. So now going to be under pressure from Northern Star as well. But of course, his teammate Humble Hippo leading the race at this point. Not having the best of luck either. Still a severe amount of pressure coming off of the Alfa from way behind. Who someone else goes pretty wide. And I think they switched off the order a bit. Got Blumcher having lost his entire front wing. Now having a bit of contact there. And let's get back out in front, see what's happening. So Humble Hippo now leads by 1.9 seconds. Ramji up into second there. Holds that position. 2.1 seconds behind the McLaren, who now has some breathing room for himself. We got Rando 2/10 behind, and he's trying to get past. Tries to break a bit late on the inside. Almost has a bit of contact. So far so good as he keeps that position in P3. Hammer, of course, up into P4 now. Walsey running P5. I think he's potentially looking at getting driver of the day here. We'll see what's going to happen today at the end of this race here. Gap is less than a tenth right now. It's side by side with Ryan and Rami J for P2. Looks like the Alpine gets out in front. And I think he's going to hold on to that position at least for now. Hammer now gets up into third. Rami J loses 2 positions in one sector, and that's not going to be too good in terms of points for him there. So he's down to fourth. Ryan, of course, gaining quite a good position up to second. Hammer into third, and he's down to a podium position now, and possibly looking at getting a race win this evening if he can get up into second and chase after the McLaren in front of him. Keep it within a certain range, and let's see what the gap is going to be needed for that. It's a 3-second penalty for Humble Hippo out in front, 6 seconds for Ryan, 30-second penalty for Ramiji, getting pretty close of getting disqualified from this race. Toys R Us there, 8 seconds with a penalty, 6 seconds for Donald Blumchum, 6 seconds, 21 seconds for Northern Star. Let's see what's going to change as we get further on into the race here. Now Ryan 1.5 seconds behind the McLaren. He's now trying to break the gap down and potentially get up into P1 and possibly trying to get a race win if he can, but going to be a bit hard with Hammer chasing after them, having no penalties at this point here. And looks like Walsey now no has any penalties either. We'll have to have back a look at that and see in just a bit. We're on lap 26 of 36. Got a full, let's call it 10 laps remaining to go here. Be at least 13 minutes or so. And then of course, guys, we do have that 5-lap sprint race just after to have a look at as well. Was quite interesting last week. Let's see how this week's one is gonna go. Gap is still about 1.2 seconds behind Humble Hippo and McLaren. And Ryan there in second. He's trying to get that gap under second so he can have the DRS advantage at this point here. I think the only driver with the DRS advantage right now is Rami J, that are currently running in fourth, and I think he's about to lose that advantage as well. Ryan now within a second of the McLaren. Let's have a look and see how well that's actually working for him. Ryan, of course, gets another penalty right about now, so I think that takes him over to 9 seconds of penalties, which will definitely cost him second place. Hammer will get over to that if we can keep the gap within a total of 3 seconds here between Humble Hippo and Hammer. He definitely can take away a race win this evening, but he does need to get past Ryan to just make that a bit more possible. Let's see if that's going to happen or not. Ryan now takes over the lead of the race away from the McLaren and does that into turn 1 of lap 28. Of course, with 9 seconds of penalties and Humble Hippo now into second, this is looking much more promising for Hammer there in the Haas in terms of taking away a win here at Mexico for this race. There's a 2:10 gap to the car behind of him. Well, let's see what's happening with that in just a bit here. So that off from here definitely closing in on his gap. Long jump down at the bottom, really still trying to fight his way back up. It's a 2:10 gap between him and Donner for 7. Let's see how much positions he's able to gain before this race comes off to a close. So yeah, we're following on with Hammer and Rami J at the moment. 9:10 is where the gap is. Long jump gaining a position down at the back. Walsey looking to gain one if he can here. Out in front, gap is over a second between Ryan and Humble Hippo, so he's not looking good in terms of getting DRS advantage off the Alpine with the gap that he currently has there. And looks like we have someone going into the pits right now. I think that's Ryan getting into the pits right now. He was on the soft, so had to do another stop for the final 7 laps of this race. And a new set of soft tires, how much of an advantage is it going to be, and where is he going to be out on track when he does get out? It looks like he's going to get out in P4, but he's going to have a gap to fight his way through now. And looks like actually it's going to be P5 for him. P6 is what he's down to right now, so quite a way for him to work his way back up the field. Let's see how well that's actually going to work, because I think the guys out in front are going to stay out on the tires that they're currently running on. Even Toys R Us there, he's now up into P4. 12 laps done on his set of mediums. Grid order has changed quite a bit here. Let's see what's going to happen as you get further down to the end of the race. So Humble Hippo leads by 4 seconds against Hammer right now. Of course, Humble Hippo having about 9 seconds of penalties, I think it is. Let's have a look at how many penalties that actually is. Actually, no, it's just 3 seconds for him. So Hammer with a 4-second gap. 3 seconds is what he needs to be clear of in terms of getting the race win. So he needs to be within a 3-second gap. And let's see if he's able to pull that off in the next 6 or 7 laps that we have remaining in the session here around J, of course. In P3, he's trying to catch up. 30 seconds of penalties. Really won't matter if he does get the position up, though, because he's going to be losing it back with that amount of penalties there. Hopefully he doesn't get any more, because it's going to lead to him getting disqualified from the race if he gets too many penalties here. 9 drivers remain still so far. Blumstrom with another penalty as he's running in 7. 15 seconds behind Walsey. Let's see if he's able to catch up to that position there or not. 4:10 gap right now with Hammer and Rami J. And these two are still fighting it. This is, of course, fighting for P2 in this race. Gap between Hammer and Humble Hippo, of course, 4.1 seconds as Rami J takes a spin and now loses quite a big gap towards Hammer out in front. So he's now a bit clear. That can focus a bit more in terms of trying to catch up to the race leader and taking away a race win this evening if he can. I think he might want to get up into the lead to get across the line. Has us under 6 laps or so to do that right now. So let's see if that's going to get him anywhere or not. 4.5 seconds is where what Hammer needs to clear right now. Actually, he just needs to clear 1.5 seconds and will be able to get a race win if he can do that, because he has kept himself clear of any penalties in this session all the way through far. Toys R Us there side by side with the Alpine of Ryan trying to get that position. And looks like Ryan holds on to it in P4 for now. I think he might actually hold on to that going on through at the moment. Lap 30 of 36 here at Mexico as we got the McLaren leading. Hammer in the Haas currently second. 5-second gap though, 5.2 seconds now. They're both running on the same strategy right about now, but it looks like Hammer is having some sort of problems maybe with his tires or with their car, not able to close the gap. He's trying to bring it back down right about now. Down by another 2/10, 4.8 seconds, and needs to be within 3 seconds to keep that race win, unless Humble Hippo out in front takes another penalty and puts it maybe to 6 seconds here, which he hasn't done at this point. So I think he's possibly going to try to keep it there as much as he can. We're going to go out to Hammer here, who's trying to close that gap in. So has a lot of free air to work with in front of him, being that he has a 5.4 second gap. Needs to make sure he doesn't make a single mistake at this point here in the race in terms of gaining positions. Either way, he is going to be finishing, I think, at least second on the podium here. And really, that's not going to be too bad a finish for him in terms of getting points as well. We'll see who's going to be getting the fastest lap. Walsey up into 6. Might still be looking at getting driver of the day, but let's have a quick look at that if we can here. And looks like Humble Hippo has gained 10 positions in this race so far. Walsey's only gained 7. So Humble Hippo started quite a way down there as well. So he's looking at potentially getting a podium position. Not going to be getting a race win, of course. And still getting driver of the day maybe here. But let's see who's going to be getting the race win. with what's going to happen out in front, because it's going to be between Hammer and Humble Hippo for it. Of course, the penalty situation is what might actually determine this right about now. Blumchum out of the session, unfortunately. That is going to be a full safety car. This is going to change things up out in front with Humble Hippo and Hammer. Are they both going to do a pit stop or not? Guys, we're now only getting into sector 2 on the track. It's lap 32. This safety car is not going to be out for too long. We're going to be back racing into lap 34. So let's keep an eye and see what's going to happen out in front. Toys R Us already into the pits here as he was getting wrong. Okay, so back on, let's see what's happening on track. So we do have pit stops happening under that safety car right about now. As we said, we're possibly going to be getting back racing into lap 34, or maybe just going to be lap 35 and 36, but minimum it's going to be at least 2 laps, the final 2 laps of racing. We're hoping for lap 34, but I don't think it's going to be possible with the way the safety car is running right now. We're not following it as yet, so it looks like we're going to go back racing maybe into lap 35. Humble Hippo takes a stop along with the rest of the drivers behind of him, except for Walsey, who did not take a stop. Taking a gamble with this here in terms of strategy. So Humble Hippo's back out in front leading, Hammer in second, both on fresh sauce. We got Walsey in third now on very old hard tires. 14 laps he's done on them. Not going to have the pace as the cars around him, but he needs to hold this off for 2 laps. Let's see if he's going to be able to do that. A minimum of 2 laps actually. It might be 3 laps, but I think it's going to be 2. Let's see what's going to happen when the restart is ready to go. Because I think the cars are going to have to run 1 more lap before we are ready to get back racing. Ryan just behind Walsey, 7 seconds behind though. He's going to be able to catch up once we're not getting back racing on this lap here, which I highly doubt we are. It's going to be lap 35 and 36 left in terms of racing laps here in the session. Laps 33 and 34 are going to be followed under behind the safety car to finish this portion off. And then finally 8 drivers to get across the line. Hopefully we can have all 8 get across. We'll see what's going to happen in that case there. And we got some more penalties happening on track. Let's have a look at this, because now it's Humble Hippo into first. We got Hammer in second, no penalty. Walsey into third, no penalty. Let's see what's happening on track here. Position changes as it is. Humble Hippo 10 positions gain. Walsey 10 positions gain. Of course, Humble Hippo going to be losing that position with a gap that he currently has there. Not sure if Walsey's going to be able to stay right there. Let's take it over to penalties. We got a 3-second penalty for Humble Hippo, 9 for Ryan, 28 for Rami J, and then we got 6 for Toys R Us Dunners with 19 seconds for Northern Star there. Unfortunately with that, let's see what's going to happen before we do get back started here. Of course, everyone on basically from fresh to next to fresh tires, I would say right about now, and only driver on old tires is going to be Walsey there in third. 15 laps done on those mediums that he hards that he has on. Want to see if he's going to be able to get a good run on them in terms of the restart that's about to happen in just a bit. So I think we're going to keep it on penalties for now and have a look and see how that order is going to change when they do get across the line. So it looks like Hammer looking for a potential win here at Mexico in terms of the position that he has there right about now. And Walsey there might potentially get that car up into a podium position and might keep it third or maybe get into second. Just depends what's going to happen with Humble Hippo out in front. But of course he has fresh tires on. He might be able to keep Wolsey at bay at the moment. For that final 2 laps, we'll see what's going to happen. We're going to get into the final sector here on lap 34, so we should get a notification. There we go. So safety car is going to be on this lap. We're about to get back racing into lap 35 and then 36 to finish off the race. Let's see how bad or how good that restart is about to go. We do have the 5-lap sprint race to go with after this is completely over here. Going to be a reverse grid order start from the results that we do get here. And it'll be an interesting 5 laps, so we'll see how it goes. Got the McLaren holding back the grid as much as he can, trying to make sure Hammer stays just a bit behind him after he does get back going. But Hammer, of course, keeping that car within 2/10 right now, so has a pretty good gap. Let's see what's going to happen as they get on the run down into turn 1. Ryan falling down positions already. Not sure what's happening down in the back of the grid there, but he's lost quite a few positions. And McLaren gaining our time out front, out by about 4/10. Does look like someone's missing an entire front wing down in the back of the grid here. So what's happening? And that is, of course, Rami J's car missing the entire front wing. Not sure what happened after that restart, but something did happen. And I guess he might have to finish the race as it is there, or just he still will have to do a stop, but we'll put him down to the back of the grid. When he does do that, Wolsey back up into third. Let's see what's happening out in front. Penalties are a bit crazy right about now. Hammer still looking potentially to get a race win here this evening at Mexico if he can. Humble Hippo still leads out in front. I'm quite surprised he's still able to hold on to that lead right about now. Hammer, they're going to be putting a lot of pressure on him. Both of them on fresh soft tires, of course. See what's going to happen. Wolsey all the way down to 8th position now. Rami J and Toys R Us fighting for a position apparently there. Not sure what's happening with those two. And we're about to enter into the final lap here at Mexico, and let's see who's going to be getting across the line first, who will take the win, because we think we know what's going to happen at this point here right now. The way things are going, it looks like Hammer is going to be getting a win here at Mexico. Humble Hippo will have to settle for 2nd place. Toys R Us will take 3rd. Ryan looks like he's going to take 4th. Rami J might take 5th. Wolsey might move a position or 2 up, because 2 cars in front of him have quite a bit of penalties, so he might still finish 4th on the grid. We'll see what's going to happen as they get around to that Northern Star, though, all the way down in the back there. Should be finishing right there in 8th. Not sure what's happening with Wolsey down in the back of the grid here. Is he still... see what's happening with him. Not sure if he's disconnected or not, but something's happened to his car. He might have lost connection. Not sure what's happening with that as yet. The guys will figure that out in just a bit. Alright guys, are coming around, about to get into the final sector. If Humble Hippo could clear 3 seconds, he can keep the race win. Of course, only 1.6 seconds is the gap that he's able to create so far, getting into sector 3. We have final few turns to go before they get across the line here. Already got some fireworks going off. I think we can hear them as they're going off. I was wondering what the heck was that. So there we go. Humble Hippo gets across the line P1, but will have to take 2nd place on the podium as Hammer now gets across the line 2nd, but takes away the win because of a 3-second penalty that the McLaren had. We got Ryan should be coming around the final turn right about now to take 3rd place. And he does take that for now. Let's see if there's going to be a switch in terms of penalties or not. So Toys R Us switches it up. He takes 3rd place on the podium. Ryan down to 4th. We got Wolsey all the way up into 4th now. Ryan's down to 5th. And we'll have to look at the order just at the end of this. But quite an interesting finish. Penalties really do affect the finishing positions here of the cars on track. Driver of the day, of course, goes to Wolsey there. Not a bad finish for him. I think it was finishing up in P4. I think where he is. So let's have a look and see where the rest of the drivers did come at the end of that. But yep, not a bad one. Race win for the evening here at Mexico goes to Hammer there. And a pretty good win for him, some pretty good points. Humble Hippo there finishes 2nd on the podium. Toys R Us takes 3rd. We got Wolsey finishes 4th, takes driver of the day. Ryan takes 5th. Donners in 6th. Northern Star in 7th. Ramigator in 8th. And I think that was it for drivers who finish off the race. Blumchum unfortunately 9, Kraken in 10, JK 11, Scuba 12, Dino there 13th. And who got fastest lap? Looks like it was Blumchum before he DNF'd the session, so I don't think that will count for an extra point or whatever. So I think that's going to be it for the results here for the let's call it our feature race here at Interstellar Racing. That was a pretty interesting 36 laps. We're gonna wait for the guys to get the grid sorted for the 5-lap sprint race and then just be on with that. Okay, so we're off on the 5-lap sprint race. Let's see what's happening as Blumton starts there in P1, gets a lead away pretty well so far as he goes around the chase, still chasing after him though, and I think that car's all over the track, trying to have a look, see if we're having contact going into turn 1. At least 2 cars going side by side for the lead. Ramage gets up into the lead, tries to hold that off as he gets on the inside of the next turn. He holds it pretty well. The Alpine of Blumton was trying to get it back if he can, not having the best of luck. Let's see where Hammer is down there in third. Has a McLaren of Humble Hippo behind of him. Those two had a pretty good run on the previous feature race that we had there, so let's see what's happening here. Looks like a Humble Hippo trying to get around the inside, but didn't have much luck with that. He still has to hold on to the race line, getting on through. A bit of contact between them, I think there. Don't think he took any damage. 2 drivers already out of the session, only 5 laps to run this on through. Let's see how much we can get all the way to the end of a total of 12. Torres is going to try to gain some positions down in the back there as Humble Hippo still tries to get past the Haas of Hammer here into 3rd position, and no penalties so far. Actually quite surprised by that one there as we're getting on through with it. So still a pretty close gap between most of the drivers putting on through. Out in front, Ramage still leads, of course, and I think we're just scrapping the session as it is, or I'm not sure what's happening, but these two are definitely out. Either way, Hammer's still trying to go around. They had a bit of contact coming together, and contact there. Blumchum is out, Humble Hippo is out, Scuba out, Torres Ross, Northern Star, and J. Kelly out of the session. Got 5 drivers remain. I think we're just going to have to just give that another go, because I think it just either had a glitch or everyone just crashed out on that session. I think they're going to set up a new lobby with that one. Let's have another go with that. Yep, definitely doing another lobby with this guy. So let's have that load on through, and we'll just join onto that. I'll just switch the screen over. I'll be back in just a second with it. Okay, so on the grid once again to try once again for another attempt at the 5-lap sprint. And we're started with it. Ramjay starting P1, Northern Star gonna chase after him. Let's see how those two get along pretty well so far, side by side going through. Got at least 4 cars going wide down just behind. So let's see what happens as they get into turn 1. Definitely gonna look at some damaged cars as they get on through with this. Out in front, it seems to be getting on pretty well. 3 wide and at least 2 rows of them getting through so far there. Let's switch a few things on if we can here. Put tires on them. Everyone running on the soft tires, of course. I think we'll leave that off for now. So just put on the track map and a bit of telemetry information. Possibly? Oh, sorry, I think I put the wrong one on. Alright, got cars getting off track just a bit right about now. Ryan with a penalty, of course, I think also for track limits as it is there. Let's have a look what's happening out front. So still on this opening lap, Ramjay still continues to lead. Northern Star running second. Durners in third. Ryan is fourth. We got Humble Hippo in fifth. Hammer down to 6th there. J. Kelly in 7th. Dino running 8th. Toys R Us in 9th. Blumchum 10th. Kraken 11th. Scuba in 12th. Let's see what changes as they get on through with this here. And everyone's still with a pretty close gap between each other going on through. Northern Star and the McLaren, of course, chasing after Ramjay for the lead. And he holds on to that pretty well from start of this race up to this point here. And getting into lap 2 right now. Lap 205, of course, goes a bit wide off that corner there. Almost touching the wall and possibly losing the front wing of the car. Holds it on through. The McLaren, of course, going to chase him down using the slipstream advantage into turn 1. Is going to push it around the outside. It's forced around the outside, actually. And let's see if that room is going to be enough room for him to try and get the overtake done. A bit side by side still, and a bit of contact between them. A bit of unnecessary contact, I think, between them there. And they still continue on through. No damage so far. Now we have a spin with the McLaren as Ramjay continues on through. The McLaren trying to possibly get back into the lead if he can, but he has quite a way to fight his way back through here. Ryan up into second now. Ramjay is now down to third. Durners gains over into the lead there in the Williams, and let's see if he holds on to that. We got the Alfa Romeo trying to get back into second though. So a bit aggressive between them as they fight between this final 5 laps that we have here. Durners, of course, trying to hold on to the lead now. Ramjay is still trying to get back into the lead. He's in second. Brian there in third. He's just about 3 tenths behind. Humble Hippo behind them about 2 tenths, now 1 tenth. So he's like right up to the rear of that Alpine. They're going to try to get by as much as he can. Let's see if that's going to work for him. Dino, of course, in the Williams trying to chase after Hammer there for 5th. He's just about less than a tenth behind him. I think some pretty close gaps to work with here on the grid. As we should be getting into lap 3 pretty soon. Now we're going to have possibly close gaps getting all the way down to the end of this race. J. Kelly and Kraken down in the back here having a bit of a go at it. And Aston Martin trying to keep the Alfa Romeo behind. But not having the best of luck. DRS is now going to be online and everyone gets that advantage except for Toys R Us there, who is now 1.8 seconds behind the car in front of him. So I don't think he does get that advantage. Let's see what's going to happen. The rest of the way getting onto Kraken here, having a pretty good run against the Aston Martin. Might try to put it on the inside, and he does not actually do that. He just keeps on the racing line. Doesn't want to risk losing the position right about now. Let's switches back over out in front with Ramjay just a tenth behind. Durners now, who's trying to get back into the lead here, and looks like Durners trying to hold him off on the outside. Let's see if it's going to work out through. It looks like he loses the position. Tries to outbrake him a little bit here, and a bit of contact between them, I think, but he gets back into the lead. I think he's going to hold it off for now. Trying to have a look at what's happening behind of them there as well. So we got Ryan and Humble Hippo as well, along with Hammer and Dino as well, fighting for a position, getting through. Just separated by about 2 to 3 tenths. So I think it's going to keep that way going all the way to the end of the 5 laps. We're already on lap 3, halfway through lap 3 actually, to get on to the end of this race. So let's see how that continues. Cracking up into 7. He has about a 2:10 gap to Dino in front of him. Let's see if he's able to gain that position on that. Rami still holding on to second place. Now a bit of contact with the Williams in front, trying to get out into the lead. Holds back just a little bit here. So Donald still holds on to the lead. We can still got Rami in second. Goes pretty wide on that final turn exit there. And it's going to be a side-by-side drivers run with them down into turn 1. I think Donald takes back the lead though, holds it on through because Ramage is trying to get a slipstream advantage, which he does get, and now takes over the lead of the race. I'm getting to that 10th between him and the McLaren of Humble Hippo now gets past everyone on the inside. Of a bit of late braking helps, I think, a lot with that. So he's now up in the lead. Ramage is still into second. Dino now up in the third. Donna's now running fourth, which Ryan just took away there. So Donna's is now down to fifth. So not sure what's happening in the back here, but quite a bit of a commotion happening in terms of these three trying to fight for positions here. Hammer and Donna's are still going side by side with it. The Haas in front of them. I think there was a bit of contact there. We might have some damaged cars still running on track here as well. But of course, only 5 laps is the race. Not any time to do a pit stop at this point here. They're going to just keep on going through with it. Especially we're already on lap 4. It's just 1.5 laps remaining to finish this off, and pretty good so far with what we got going on. A few penalties on track as it is. 3:10 is what the gap is between Donors and Kraken there. And have a look at what penalty situation is going to be going down to the end of this race. Got Hammer and Kraken now. There's 2 tenths between them. We're going to go back out in front with Ramigier and Humble Hippo here, who's about to get into the final lap, and let's see how that is going to work. It's only a 10 between the two of them because Ramigier is going to have the slipstream advantage. Of course, the Williams behind him are having that advantage as well, along with the DRS advantage. It's going to work pretty well in terms of them trying to get an overtake done here. It's possibly going to be one of the 3 of them. We also have, we got a bit of contact happening with the Alfa Romeo and the Williams there. Humble Hippo keeps out into the lead. Ryan in the middle of this trying to get past them as well. So definitely have some damage, I think, on the Williams there. Not sure if the Alfa Romeo has the damage as well. I think he's missing an end plate. He is missing an end plate as well. The Alpine gets past. That's Ryan up into third. He's going to hold on to that position going through the final lap and possibly try to get past the Williams in front of him, hoping that the Williams has some damage there as well. I think we're going to try to have a look at that here right now to see if that Williams does have any damage. I think he might be missing an end plate as well. It is a 2-second penalty though for Ryan at the moment there, as it looks like he doesn't look like Dino has any penalty. I'm trying to have a look from the viewpoint of the McLaren here. Nope, he does not have any penalties, so he's going to continue on through. We're on the final lap here at Mexico on this 5-lap sprint race getting on through. So let's see as they finish it off what's going to happen, because Ryan with a 2-second penalty, Kraken with a 4-second penalty, and a pretty close gap with Hammer behind of them as Humble Hippo comes and gets across the line, takes the win for the Mexican Grand Prix sprint race. Dino gets across the line, second place on the podium right here. Hammer gets third. Ryan takes away 4. Blumchum up into 5th. Donalds takes 6. Kraken looks like he's getting 7. Ramage into 8. We got Northern Star in 9th. We got Jake Kelly in 10th. And Toys goes down into 11th. One driver not able to finish the race, but not a bad 5-lap sprint race there. I think that was interesting from the start all the way to lap 5. Dean, of course, getting driver of the day, so not too bad of a finish for him here. Okay, we should be able to have back one more look at the grid order before we get off to the end of the stream. It's a race winner there for the 5-lap sprint race here with Interstellar Racing. Goes to Humble Hippo in the McLaren. We got Dino finishing 2nd. Hammer takes 3rd. Ryan takes 4th. Blumchum in 5th. We got Donner 6th. Kraken takes 7. Ramage in 8th. Northern Star 9. JK 10. Toys R Us 11. And Scuba unfortunately not able to finish the race. And I think that's going to be it for the session, guys. Hopefully we'll have a look at the combined standings for the league next week Friday. I think we'll try to have a look at that. We'll have that set up on stream. You guys can have a look. Thank you guys for joining on the session. It was an interesting race for the feature race and for the sprint race as well. Hopefully you guys have left a like on the video. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. I'll see you guys on the next stream on Sunday for Slipstream Racing League at Imola. So going to be an interesting one there as well.